Yo, what's up, everybody? You doing? I'd like to welcome you to a video if you got just JB, man. And it been a lot of stuff going on online today about Just State University, in particular, Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, about him, quote unquote, laughing at a kid when it comes to, or laughing at the situation when it comes to the aspect of a reporter asking him if it's going to be a QB battle between his son and Jalen Jones and Casey, for the upcoming fall season. Now, before I get to talking in depth detail about this, you all see what's back there on my wall, Jackson State University, right? I'm a diehard Jackson State University fan, all right? JSU, Son of Boom of the South, all that. I've been a JSU fan since I was a little guy, snot nose. And if y'all know about JSU, y'all know that's a Robert Kent jersey, all right? Robert Kent, one of the greatest QB we ever had to come through Jackson State, all right? So that's who jersey it is. Now, I'm waiting on a winning season, all right? I'm waiting on one, okay? But I want to put this whole thing in context when it comes to the backlash Deion Sanders is getting right now from the quote-unquote laughing, nonchalant laugh he did when the reporter asked him about a QB situation that's coming up in the fall with his son, once again, Jalen and Casey, all right? Now, that particular segment that y'all seen, that wasn't even the context or the conversation of the initial, talking point. And that reporter, which always interject himself when he's talking to Deion, he always come up and ask that same question in some type of, context, right? From a different standpoint, but it'd be the same context about his son, right? Now, when it comes to Deion Sanders, son, okay, we know he the highest, as far as, when you start thinking about stars like 4-star, 3-star, 5-star, he the highest recruit they ever signed with Jackson State University, okay? Came in, during the springtime, and he's out there practicing with the team. Now, it don't matter if you in JUCO or if you want at one of the top tier D1, PWIs. If you got one of the highest, recruits at the QB position, come to your school, it don't matter who the coach is. They gonna find a way to get that kid ready, to prepare that kid to take the reins of that particular program when it's his time to get up there and shine, right? Whether the father's the head coach or not. So what I want to do, I want to go to the Clarion Ledger website so we can put this whole thing into context. Now, I'm not going to play their whole video. I'm going to use the same Twitter video from Rashard that you all used, but we're going to look at Rashard's article so y'all can see what the context is. The reason why I'm not going to play the whole video because the Clarion Ledger and WJTV, they are small market media outlets, and those media outlets will sue you for their content, all right? Because they want their revenue, especially when it comes to covering, primetime Deion Sanders, right? So that's the only reason why I'm not going to play their content in full, in totality, right? They don't care about none of that fair use act stuff, all right? So what we're going to do, we're going to go over here. Let me bring this screen up real quick, and we're going to go over here, and we're going to check this out, okay? Let me go and pull this up. Once again, you all can come subscribe to the Clarion Ledger. They charge $1 for 6 months on the first 6 months. Then on the back end, they're gonna charge you $9.99 a month for the last 6 months, right? Only thing you got to do, pay your $1, be a subscribe for the first 6 months. When the first 6 months over, just cancel your subscription and you'll be good. So y'all can keep up with the Jackson State quote unquote saga that's going on. All right. Now, this picture right here was taken by a photographer, all right, that's, either employed with the Clarion Ledger or most likely, independent contractor, freelance photographer that, go out there, shoot photos and sell their works or their art to the best, bidder when it comes to, sporting events or whatever the case might be. All right. Now, the question was asked, once again, as y'all can see, the date down here is 4/13 of 2021. This article came out at 4:04 p.m. Central Standard Time on 4/13/2021 and was updated at 7:36 p.m. Central Time on 4/13/2021. Okay, and this right here is the Twitter post that everybody is going crazy about, in the uproar about. Okay, now before we jump into this, I want to say something. All right, I want to say, look, I don't care if Deion signed to win 3 games, 4 games, 5 games. I don't care if after 3 years he up and leave and go somewhere. I don't care about that. What I do care about is that he changing the whole landscape of college football, especially when it comes to HBCUs. He putting it back in the direction so HBCUs can get their power back. All right, because if you think about all the Hall of Famers that retired in, let's say, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and in the early 2000s, if you go look at their collegiate where they played their collegiate ball there or their college level ball there, all of them came from some sort of HBCUs, right? You rarely see somebody came from a power house program or a PWI top tier, program, D1 school, okay? They didn't start coming taking our talent until college football became, this revenue earning, gaining giant that it is, to the point it's about to rival the NFL, football league, okay? And college football is in a better position than the NFL because they don't have to, pay players. Soon they will be able to pay players for their likeness, but not on their level with these $1 million contracts and things of that nature, right? So that right there, along with Deion is doing and his present, is changing that outlook because you see kids committing to HBCUs, right? Whether it's from baseball, football, men basketball, women basketball, track and field, soccer, all that, right? They going to schools that represent them or inside their demographics as far as the communities where they come from. And they're going to bring a lot of money in, right? But what's really blowing my mind is that the people that's against this, which are the individuals that, run these PWIs, was making all this money, off the athlete, they are against it, but it's like they in the background against it. And the people that's in the forefront against are the people where these moves are going to help benefit them. And I dislike saying this, it's my people, our people, right? We'll find anything to criticize anything, okay? Instead of doing our own due diligence to see what the context of the situation is, just anything about Deion, folks jumping on it and just going head first with it, all right? Now, everybody got the right to say own opinion, but let's jump into this particular article, right? Remember, Rashid posted this on Twitter, and also Rashid is the author of this article as well, right? Okay, y'all see his name right there. Okay, matter of fact, go follow Rashid on Twitter and get that guy some likes because he's a great journalist. All right, now this is what the context of the situation is about. Okay, now Deion was having a conversation with all the reporters up in there. Okay, and they was talking about the losing streak. Okay, now we're gonna pull some excerpts that was put up inside here, okay? The whole conversation was about Shilo, not about Shador, but about Shilo. But like I said, this same reporter, he always interject himself into these particular press conferences, whether pre-game press conference or post-game press conference, and he always asks the same question about a perceived QB battle, but he do it in a different context type of way, okay? So this is what it was about. Shilo Sanders, who joined JSU for the spring after finishing his freshman season in the fall, told his father how Jackson State's latest loss made him feel at dinner after the game. This is what the whole conversation was about in that moment when that question was posed to Deion and he busted out laughing, all right? He busted out laughing for a particular reason. Okay, let's keep going. Shilo said, "It's like seeing your homeboy, your best friend, get beat up, and they tell you can't jump in and help them." All right. So he's saying that him, and he also including the rest of the teammates who are Deion Sanders' true recruiting class, who is not eligible to play in the spring, but they will be eligible to play in the fall. It was a gut wrenching feeling to see their homeboys, their comrades, their brothers in arms on the football field out there getting they butt whipped, and it's nothing they can do about it. All right. And Sanders said he told his son, "Hey, that was pretty good. I like that. I like the visual, meaning that he liked the passion that his child have, right? I like all that. It was almost like that carnivore mentality he has was coming out." Once again, he said it was almost like that carnivore mentality he had was coming out. And the reason why I want y'all to pay attention to that carnivore mentality standpoint, because y'all go up here and y'all pay attention to this, so y'all can understand where this conversation was coming from, because at the end of this conversation, you're going to say the same thing. I mean, at the beginning of this conversation, you're going to say the same thing. Listen.
It was almost like that carnivore mentality that he has was coming out.
Do you think the two quarterbacks that have played have a little bit of an edge going?
Let's repeat it.
It was almost like that carnivore mentality that he has is coming out of him.
Do you think the two quarterbacks that have played have a little bit of an edge going into the fall?
So the laugh was what the laugh was about. Okay, remember the conversation was about Shilo and the other players who is Deion Sanders true recruitment class who is not eligible to play in the spring, but they will be eligible to play in the fall, how they feel about the losing and they can't get in and help their comrades, help their brothers, help their friends, help their people that they have been trained to go to battle with because they can't get into the fight. Like Shiloh said, it's like seeing your homeboy, right? Your best friend get beat up and they tell you can't jump in and help them. So the conversation was about that, the passion that the kids have, all right? And then this particular, as you can see at the end of that statement, he said it was almost like the carnivore mentality was coming out. So when you heard that particular snippet that y'all got, that was Deion finished off that particular statement in context what he was talking about, and then that particular reporter just intervened and just came out of nowhere about the quarterback system, and Deion saying like, what? That's not what we talking about. He just bust out laughing because he know that reporter always doing it, okay? Now, Sanders said, and this was all in the same context, Sanders said he can tell a difference in the players he wants to build his program around by how they reacted to the losing streak. All right, he was still talking about in context of what this original talking point was about, okay? You can look in the eyes of the room, he said. You can look in the eyes on the sideline. With some of them, it's cool. He was saying like with some of these players, it's kind of like nonchalant. It just is what it is with them. But he said losing is no thing. But some of them, they have tears. They're upset. They don't like the feeling or that taste. Those are the guys you can build a program upon. So this what Deion was talking about. This was Coach Prime was talking about in context. He was giving praise to those players that want to get out there, but they can't get out there. He was giving praise to the players that's on the team, giving them their all. They upset by the losing, but everybody's not connected like that. That's why he always make the statement like everybody's not bought in or everybody's not there doing their job. Because if you are a true, Jackson State fan, our football team has been just, I'm gonna be honest, a shit show since Rick left. Since Cummings left, since Coach Cummings left, it had been a shit show. All right. And Coach Cummings got fired because the president didn't have, it was something personal, right? So, it's been a shit show. Okay. So players, most of them players that were being recruited by Jackson State, which once again, the spring game in the spring season is not Deion Sanders, recruitment class. And we sit there and watch these games for the past 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. We just seen how the players be nonchalant like that. We don't have the best talent. That team that's out there now is not the best talent, right? And you can look out on the field, you can see some players motivated and some players not motivated, right? So he was talking more context about that. And then all of a sudden, here go that same reporter jumping out and asking about that QB stuff. And he looked up and seen who it was. He just bust out laughing like, what the? Like, y'all know Deion is not finna curse, in front with them cameras on him. And I don't know if he cursed, with the cameras not on him, right? But that's what his reaction. So to the people that's online, has made this big thing out of, down to Deion Sanders and all that stuff and hopping online every time they see something and going out here just talking all, out of side of their neck, man. It would just behoove y'all to just pay $1, right? To log on to Clarion Ledger and see the full context of the whole conversation. And then you all will get it and see that he wasn't being disrespectful or none of that stuff. He wasn't laughing like, what the fuck you think? Yeah, my son gonna be the starting QB. And to be honest, his son need to be the starting QB because his son running that scout team and they be out there burning their first screen defense up and outplaying their first screen offense. Matter of fact, the running back from this past Saturday used to be on the scout team with his son, and you seen when he got in the game what he did Saturday, right? That scout team is fucking loaded, which is going to be the players in this fall, right? And then that particular system that they run, That's not even a full system. Okay. If y'all go to the practice or y'all got any insight about the practice, they can't even implement, full game plans because most of the players are not bought in. They're not bought into the system, and they can't pick up on that stuff, right? I'm not saying that they're not smart enough. I'm just saying that they're not. If you're not bought into something, you're not trying to pick up on it. All right, you're not. If you got half of the team trying to pick up on it, half the team not trying to pick up on it, how can you put in different schemes? Okay, that's why when you see us get on the field, we're running the same schemes on offense, we're running the same schemes on defense because it's hard to put a game plan together with these magnificent or unique schemes when the whole team is not bought in. So that's why you see them playing basic offense, basic defense, running the same old plays on defense, running the same old plays on offense. That's the reason why. But when you look at that scout team, okay, that scout team know that playbook almost like the back of their hand, better than the offensive starters that be out there, on the field now. And that's what it is, people.